if you are watching the Locked On Senators postcast presented by the Glebe Central Pub, you are hereby excused from all working, and you are allowed to enjoy a pint. We'll make that letter and we'll send it out for you, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's on us, and we appreciate you for following along.
That's good.
Isn't that good? I love it. That's great. So the Ottawa Senators get a 2-1 win in Sweden against the Minnesota Wild. The Senators 31 shots on goal, Minnesota with 25. Both teams go 0 for 4 on the power play. Senators win over 60% of the faceoffs in this game, 54.7% of the 5-on-5 shot share. Only 6 hits, though, for the Senators, 16 for Minnesota. There was one fight in this game as well. Zach McEwen got his bell rung by Jacob Middleton, 67's legend, Jacob Middleton. But, what were your thoughts on the fight?
I don't know. Look, I want to like Zach McEwen. I'm sure he's a great guy, East Coast guy. But, again, go through his hockeyfights.com. He doesn't often come out on the right side of things. What I will give him, though, is it's not short fights. He's hanging in there. He's taking punches. He's throwing a punch or two also. He gets in the mix a little bit, but not a great look for Zach McEwen there. But I will give him this. Getting a defenseman off with you is a nice move. Like, if you're going to fight and not confidently going to win the fight, at least take a minute muncher off and try to do your part that way. I would have liked for it to be, Spurgeon or Brodin or someone like that, but we'll take it.
Brodin's pretty good, hey?
Oh, yeah. He's good. He had a couple nice defensive plays in this one and some good shots as well.
Yeah, he's their Zub, but obviously I'd say even a level above.
Yeah, he's the combination of Zub and Sanderson, the skating with the defensive acumen. Not that Sanderson doesn't have defensive acumen.
But, I mean, it's still coming, right? Oh, nice call with the sneeze. The mute.
I was waiting for that one.
Now we got a new one. Positive Pillsy. How about professional Pillsy? He doesn't want you guys to hear the sneeze. He just, covers it up right away. While we await our guests, why don't we get to the Sens Central standouts?
Let's do it.
In this game, Pillsy. Always fun to do these after a win. I didn't know if I had the right thing up. I do. These are our Sens Central standouts. Number 1, absolute no-brainer. It's Anton Forsberg. 24 saves on 25 shots, 3 for 3 in the shootout, and 1 for 1 on penalty shots in this game.
If anyone's wondering what time it is over in Sweden, Anton Forsberg and Erik Brandstrom can tell you, because they got 2 new rollies on their wrists, that's for sure. So,
no, only 1.
What?
They only gave out 1 Rolex.
I thought it was for player of the game.
Yeah.
Anton Forsberg was not player of the game this game?
It was. It wasn't Brandstrom last game. It was Tim Stützle.
Oh, right. Yeah, fair. Damn. Well, don't ask Erik Brandstrom what time it is, I guess. Jeez. But, oh, yeah, true. Branny didn't get it last time. That's my bad. But Branny, he can tell you that this guy.
Who needs a Rolex when you can be a Sens Central standout?
Yeah, true. Yeah, we'll send Brandy something nice here, maybe a candy watch or something. But Anton Forsberg, I'm going to try to get back on track here. Anton Forsberg, just with an incredible game. We've kind of already broken that down. So let's give some love to the Swedish short king here, Ross, Erik Brandstrom. For him to pull off that clapper with that much confidence is, I was on my feet, standing ovation, clapping. Like, it was insane that he was able to blast that past his old teammate Phil Gustafsson. And Mark Mathot constantly tells us, Branny, he's just got a muffin. Well, that was no muffin right there. That was a scone going through the air that beats Philip Gustafsson. So I loved Brandy's game here, other than the catching the puck off the glass. I guess it's instinct. You just want to grab it and not have it go in. But that's one. He got second place in the paddle tournament. Swat that away, Branny. You know better than that.
Yeah, use that hand-eye. But Branny, still a good game overall. I thought that obviously the goal is what got them back into this game. So we're going to give some stick taps to the home countrymen with Branny and Forsberg, but also Artem Zub. And for me, I think this is more like, this is the Drew Doughty Norris equivalent, where it's a bit of a lifetime achievement award over in Sweden. Both games, I think, combined, Artem Zub was elite defensively. Yep. What he did on the PK today was nothing short of remarkable. The skating's good. Everything just calms down when he's on the ice. So I think that Zub deserves a bit of a shout out here. Third on the team in expected goals percentage, second on the team in Corsi for percentage, played over 20 minutes, and less is more with Artem Zub. He's not going to be the flashiest guy out there, but I thought he was good tonight. Yeah, Alex is saying it perfect in the chat. Zub is essential. Zub is essential. Zub has his own banner.
Yeah, Zub, essential worker, that's for sure. This guy is needed out there.
He can come to work in any sort of he can come to work in any sort of fashion. Our guest is waiting for an Uber, so we might be delayed. In worst case, we'll get him on for a full episode.
Are they driving to the studio? Are they going to the Blue Mountains or Winnipeg? That's gonna be a long Uber.
From Sweden?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very long ride. But yeah, who else? Do you have a 4 standout? We did 4 yesterday.
Yeah, I'll give an honorable mention to Brady Tkachuk here. I mean, it was a classic Brady Tkachuk game. He finishes with 7 shots on goal. He was 100% in the face-off dot. He played 21 minutes on ice, only the 1 hit. Like we already mentioned, 6 hits in a game for a team total for the Ottawa Senators that's probably the weirdest stat of all of this, Ross. Not the Forsberg or Hamonic assist or going to shootout for the first time ever or any stat. Only 6 hits all game is wild. But yeah, I thought Brady Tkachuk had a nice game. He had some good chances. Would have liked for him to shoot on that 2-on-1 in overtime, but other than that, nice one from the captain.
It certainly was. So overall impressions from Sweden. What are you going to tell people about the Senators 2023 Global Series?
That the Swedes were shining in the second game. Like this game is all about Forsberg and Brandy. Like even mentioning Zub and Tkachuk is just kind of filling out the standouts here because these two were the key to winning this game. And look, when you can get 2 wins on an international trip like this, that's going to do a lot to boost the morale. So you know what, Ross, at the start of the year, I don't know about you. I forget what your narrative was, but I was kind of moaning and groaning, being like, why do the Sens have to be the ones that go to Sweden? They lose 2 home games. This is classic NHL versus the Sens, blah, blah, blah. Send the Sens to Sweden every single time. I mean, I don't mind it whatsoever. Sens fans got to have a nice trip. Sens fans in Europe, in England, in Czech. Our guy Prague Senator was at the game. I saw that, so they get to go to the game. They're close by. That's awesome. Hopefully, there was some local Swedish Senators fans that got to enjoy that as well. Family and friends of Forsberg got to see him get the dub here. So send the Senators to Sweden as much as possible and keep Alfie behind the bench. Come on.
Can I at least put the caveat that let's not waste home games over there?
Ross, they won 2 out of 2 home games out there. I don't care if you call them home games, away games, intercontinental, vacation games. I don't care what you call them. If they get 4 out of 4 possible points, sign me up.
Okay, now for the not so great part of the game. Billsy, this did not look like a confident effort from the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, as our pal said there, who was that did the video after us? I didn't catch the name there, the post game video.
What's that? Oh, great question. Didn't put his name.
Thank you. Okay, well, our anonymous video provider, as he said, not a great hockey game. Like overall, it really wasn't that great. Even though, like, if you would have told someone you're getting a goalie assist, a Brandstrom slap shot, a fight, a saved penalty shot, and it goes to shootout, you're probably like, oh, that sounds like a decent game. But overall, it was kind of slow, especially for 2 teams with bad defensive structures. You thought there would be a lot more mistakes leading to wacky goals or something like that. But yeah, just overall, kind of a meh game, but at least the Ottawa Senators come out on top here.
That's the key here. It's not how, it's how many, right?
Yeah, we're not apologizing. We're not sorry. Like, we're taking the 2 points if we can get them. We are desperate. Yeah, nice. The Slag Scott. Yes.
Slag Scott. Heck yeah. So Ed saying the home record needed the boost. Yeah, you're right about that, Ed.
It's true. Exactly. So I don't mind it as much as I did before the season started, Ross.
Yeah, and we'll give some stick taps too. We gave some to Gus. I think Marco Rossi, obviously, he's had a tough go of it with the long COVID and missing an entire year, but he's back. He scores a goal in this game, and there were times where he was very noticeable with these speed bursts every now and again. So obviously, he's not a player that you would have taken third or fifth in that draft. He ends up going, I believe, ninth, if I'm not mistaken. But he'll be a heck of a player. And I think a lot of people in Ottawa are cheering for Marco Rossi. So even though he got a goal here, a nice little deflection off of Brock Faber point shot, my lookout player, by the way, Brock Faber. It was in a losing effort. So we can give him a little love for that.
Sure. Yeah. And it definitely is disappointing that Marco Rossi has had to deal with long COVID, as that obviously really sets you back. And if anyone needs their entry-level contract players to thrive for them, it's a team with almost $15 million in dead cap money. So the Minnesota Wild are stoked about that as well.
I was going to ask who gets the fire helmet from our guy, Tim Stützle, but it's so obviously Anton Forsberg, right?
I think they might give it to Branny.
Should I put both? I'm going to put the poll up. I'm going to put both. And we'll see what you think. I'm not sure here. I'm going to vote for Forsberg.
I think it's going to be Branny.
Okay, who gets the fire helmet from Tim?
I mean, we're talking about a guy in Eric Brandstrom that only scores but once a year. I mean, shout out to everyone who celebrates Eric Brandstrom goal days. Like, it doesn't happen that often.
Well, I mean, they're happening more and more. Have we gotten a reaction yet from Meth in the group chat?
He said he's skating with the Sens alumni, and he didn't realize that Brandy scored, but we let him know.
He's playing dumb. He's like, "Oh, Brandy scored? I wouldn't know."
Yeah.
Give me some final thoughts. We'll get to the comments in the chat in After Dark, but let's wrap up the audio portion. And again, if you're just listening to this, go check out the full version on our YouTube. Like and subscribe, all that great stuff.
I mean, final thoughts for me, I've kind of already said it, so I'll just do a little wrap-up spiel here. It's so relieving to get the 4 points in Sweden, even though both of these games, maybe not necessarily how the Sens drew it up, especially that Detroit game, but winning in overtime, then winning in shootout is something the Ottawa Senators have not had to do this year. They haven't even had the opportunity. It was a first for both of those kind of chances, and they make the most of it. So if you're the Senators, you got to be feeling good coming back on this flight. You got lots of time to prepare for that Islanders game. Hopefully, Ross, we might even see Tom Chabot come back for that Islanders game, as our boots on the ground people in Sweden, Dr. Bob and our guy Matt from SENSCENTRAL, were saying in practice he was ripping shots pretty good, and he looked like he was feeling good for a guy that had a hand injury, being able to shoot that puck. So come back healthy. Come back with a big win, and don't let that Swedish slide happen again like it did the first time.
I believe the video might have been Andreas, because he mentioned he was going to send us when he was at the game. So shout out
Andreas.
Yeah, Biff mentioning it as well. Biff's at the game too. Fans on both sides were shouting boring. You know, my final thoughts will be, because I always like kind of highlighting something fun that might not have been as obvious, especially if someone missed the game. But both goalies on the bench making glove saves in this one. Marc-Andre Fleury and our guy, Matt Sogard, was on the bench. I thought that was kind of fun, how they both got in the action there.
Yep, exactly. And yes, G-Man, I did overlook this. I guess what I was saying more is he would be able to come back, not officially able to be on the roster yet. So, yeah, I think he's going to be ready to go once he's able to come back with the LTIR process. So that'll be nice.
Heck yeah. Absolutely love that. Pilsy, great show, great weekend, great trip to Sweden. One more long break. And then in the postcast After Dark, I'm going to pull up the December schedule, because it gets very important and very quick, fast, coming at you. Lots of games, not so many days. We'll discuss all that after dark. Next week, we'll have Ian Mendez, hopefully Mark Method as well. Senators don't play until Friday, when they'll be taking on the New York Islanders, continuing their homestand, I say with a wink, at the CTC against the Islanders, as I said. For Brandon Pillar, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been another edition of the Locked On Senators Postcast, presented by the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.